Yes, get in. 5-1. 5-1. Can you believe it?
Ooh,
Hello, Pete.
my bad. Look, blame me while we're late. My bad. I apologize.
Nah, we're not late. Only a minute behind schedule. Late is 7 minutes, and we're going. How do we kick on from here? But look at, we're here, Pete. We made it. We ditched the rest of them. We sacked them. We sacked the other three. Finally got rid of them. Finally got rid of them. and if you're listening to this now, lads, sorry to break the news. Hello. We'll see them back again soon. No, they're all busy doing things tonight, so that's fair enough. And Easter weekend, so not so bad. But yeah, look, we'll get straight into it, Pete. I think rather than
I
knocking
was
up
going to
on the
say,
show, let's
what did we talk about? That's what's
yeah. we- We'll find something to talk about. Don't worry, we're not talking about a boring nil-nil draw anyway. And Bruce Ball, we're talking about quality stuff here. Pete, let's get into it, and let's get into the game. First up, the team news. So I suppose, yeah, the big changes were Isak dropped back to the bench, and Wilson started, and Willock was on the bench, and J7 started. So that was the two big changes. Any surprises, Pete, on the lineup? It was kind of, I suppose, Isak was the one that was the big one. We thought that J7 would come in.
Yeah, you know what, Daz? I was surprised. I've got to be honest. Um, I genuinely thought that they would go with Isak, and I genuinely thought that maybe Joelinton's slightly different because I thought with Willock, with the
Yeah.
hamstring concern, there was we weren't quite sure. So that may be less so, but definitely the Callum Wilson sub was or a switch over was a surprise. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get into Callum Wilson as we go along. But yeah, the only thing really that really stands out, that one.
He gets a mention on right, Pete, through the show. Yeah, and of course, then was this is the West Ham lineup. But let us get into it. Let's take a talk because it'll probably take us a while just to get through this little bit. Right. This is a slim down version. Straight from the start, Bowen had a nice little run for West Ham down the line, cut the ball across, and Bruno slid in, and the ball hit off our post. So a bit of change in the first minute of the match. Actually, in the first 5 minutes, West Ham had their best time in that match. They enjoyed the first 5 minutes. After that, not so much. Right. So after 5 minutes, Wilson goal, a corner for Newcastle, whipped in by Trippier. The ball kind of breaks out. ASM puts in a cross, getting another assist, of course. And Wilson got his head in it. He does love to score against West Ham. So, what what do you make? And as I tee up Wilson here, he can't score without this celebration. What did you make of that first goal, Pete? And here is the ball in, and then how he gets the header on it. What's your thoughts on that one?
It's just a quality goal. It's just a quality goal. I don't know about you, Daz, but like certainly in that early part of the game, obviously they had you talked about where they hit the post. Well, Kamara, we hit our own post.
Yeah,
But they didn't do anything. We had that early pressure really early on in the game. But every time we attacked, we looked like we were going to score. We looked like we were going to create huge problems. So when that ball comes in, I mean, look, it's a great delivery from Trippier first and foremost for the corner.
yeah,
It just kind of causes havoc in there. Falls to Maxi, and Maxi, just a great little piece of skill, just a little jink that just ends. I think it was Kira ends up putting him on the
yeah.
floor.
He's a nightmare.
To be fair, Lawless did kind of give us the heads up on him that he was a player to be got at, and he certainly was. Left him on the floor, and you know what? The cross from Maxi and the finish from Wilson are both fantastic. Maxi with his left foot, and Wilson. You put that picture up a second ago of him heading the ball, and you look at it. There's no other Newcastle player around him, and like
No,
he's literally got four players around him. He finds himself in the middle, finds that space. It's not an easy header because it comes in at a really kind of tight angle where he's got to generate a lot of neck muscles, a lot of power to get it into that far corner. So I'm not taking that massive props for him for scoring that type of header. Brilliant finish, and just what we needed just at the right time.
No, it was. It was a great goal, and yeah, the West Ham defenders kind of just left him there in the middle, and you don't leave someone as dangerous as Callum Wilson, who is so dangerous to West Ham, free like that. They absolutely hate him. I saw a couple of tweets today. They absolutely hate him. And of course he does the Macarena. On top of all that, he does the Macarena celebrate. And I know there was calls for us to do the Macarena tonight in the show, but we won't. We won't. I must say, I actually did once sing the Macarena in a karaoke bar, and the lads with the lads dancing. But that's another story for another time. Right, we'll move on. And we'll go to another goal. 12 minutes. This is one which was a crazy one. Absolutely peach of a ball by Fabian Schär. Right, the perfect. It was like a golf shot the way he teed the ball in there, and Joe Linton made a lovely run across the defense that was kind of in the line, apart from the left back, and he just went to the right time, got in behind, and went past. And I have the pictures to prove it as well. Actually, took the ball, went round Fabianski, and normal Joe Linton back in the old days, this is the time he'd slip and it would go wide. But no, not new Joe Linton. He slots it home, and of course, then I know from the angle that Sky had, it did look offside. But then when you play it back and you actually see the run he makes, and where the left back there was clearly onside, and then we had a little bit of a wait, but we got to celebrate that second goal. What did you make of that one, Pete?
Just as you said, Daz, I think you explained it really well. That ball splitting pass, or defense splitting pass, shall we say, from Fabian Schär played through. But it's the intelligence of Joe Linton to make the run, the deep run. We don't see that enough, should we say, from the left-hand side, whether it's Maxi or Joe Linton. They don't tend to make those runs. So it was really nice to see our left-hand side making that type of run. And just kind of left West Ham for dead. And I'm really glad, because like sometimes with players, because they see the defense stop, they almost stop themselves, and it gives the keeper a chance to kind of get the ball. But I'm so glad he just kind of carried on, whipped the ball into the net, and then we saw him. I have to be honest, as soon as they put the picture up, I thought, because I was watching it with my daughter, I was like, I'm sure he's onside. I'm sure, and because you could see the player in the far end. I mean, even Aguerd, he looked quite level.
Yeah.
Even then, it was like.
That's why I was looking first, and then I saw that. I was like, ah!
Honestly, I was exactly the same, and me and my daughter were kind of like, it has to be. It has to be. And then as soon as the green, you just gotta wait for the green line to appear. It's either the green or the red. You know, as soon as the green line appears, I was like literally with my daughter hold on to each other, just already celebrating, going mad before they announced the goal. Brilliant stuff. Just, you know what? It's just football played at a level that West Ham just couldn't hang with. They just couldn't hang with it.
Yeah, no, exactly, Pete. And at this stage, we're 2-0 up, and I was after 12 minutes. It's unheard of. Away from home in London. Okay, it was all a bit too easy, and West Ham were shockingly poor. But 27 minutes. Paqueta, who had an okay game actually, Paqueta, and I know Dan Lawless marked him out as being actually more from Dan later coming up on the show. So hang on for that. Yeah. So then a free kick and a great save from Pope at that 27 minutes. Then there was a there was a penalty claim from West Ham. Was it Antonio grappling with Botman? But yeah, it was never a penalty. And of course, the Wilson went out, had a slight chance at the other end. Then on to 39 minutes, and Zuma got clear. Bet I'm the mystery cat person.
I heard that. I have to say, if anyone's watched the away days preview, me, Daz, and Dan Lawless on Monday, it was Chris in the chat. I went back to it. I think it might have been yesterday or the day before, and Chris noticed it. I had no idea. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Go back and see it or hear, see if you can hear the meow come from absolute nowhere.
No.
And yeah, the culprit is the one sitting right next to me.
Yeah, no one picked up on it. No one picked up on it. So yeah, look at it. I made it obvious this time. Yeah, so yeah, but a corner in from West Ham. No one was picking him up. Kind of Botman, I think, was probably at fault here for me. He got a free header, Zuma, and 2-1. And if you remember back what Dan said, something like, we never score from corners and all this. The only time we scored from corner was against Newcastle, and then they scored another one. I was like, oh no, is this going? He's going to really rub it in now. But are they going to claw this back? Yeah, what you make of that? Their goal or our mess up.
It was just pretty shit, wasn't it? It was just it was, you know what? It was a goal that could easily have been avoided. I have to say, in probably his only mistake he made in the game, Botman just gets lost too easily by Kurt Zuma. His positioning, he was the wrong side of him, so he ends up getting lost too quickly, and then he can't get back and recover. It's as simple as that. But equally, you could maybe argue that Pope, his judgment was just off. But if you watch it again, he was held back and slightly blocked off by Antonio, which means he can't actually get to the ball. So I don't necessarily blame Pope for that. It was just a mistake. It was a mistake. Botman should have been closer, should have been more touch tight to him, and it would have stopped a goal from happening, because behind Zuma, there's nobody. So it would have just ran out for either a goal kick or a throw in. But look, I have to say, I don't know if you agree with me, Daz, and I don't know if people in the chat will agree, that the 10 minutes before that goal, we dropped off.
Yeah, we did.
We dropped off in our performance. We weren't as penetrating. We weren't as direct. There wasn't enough intensity. And we continued to just gift them the ball back and allow them to think that they were still in the game. So it was the one point in the whole game where we actually dropped off. And that accumulated to the goal, which was disappointing, really, because I don't think, I do believe that we should have had a clean sheet. I really do.
Yeah, and you could see as well though, Eddie Howe was having none of it either. He were 2-0 up or something before their goal, and he was laid into them because he knew that he had dropped off the pace. So
What did you make of that when you saw that watching it live? What did you make of that when you saw that Eddie Howe was properly laying into the players?
Yeah, no, it's like he wants the best. He's not accepting any kind of being any kind of lackluster performance in any part of the match. It might be 2-0 up, but forget it. Look, still play like it's 0-0. That kind of a way. Don't let up at all. So yeah, he wants the best from his players, and that's what we need. Like, that's the mentality going forward into the next 10 games that we have to take as well. Don't let up. Don't even let it into your head. Just always play like you're behind, or like you're looking for that first goal, I guess. Your thoughts there, Pete?
For the
and how?
For me, I think it was exactly what the players needed, and I think it almost kicked them back into gear. I was pleasantly surprised to see that. You don't see it from Howe often, and what I like the way that Howe goes about his business in the media, the way he talks.
Yeah, nice guy.
The nice guy. Yeah, he is. He's the nice guy. Everyone respects him. Everyone likes him. But I like to see that little bit of bite, that little bit of steel in him.
He turned into Mad Dog for a while.
He did, and like ultimately. Mad Dog is the face of the kind of aggressiveness of the fight. He is the face of that. He faces that up. Eddie Howe is the nice guy, but Eddie Howe's talked about himself as being ruthless and having to make tough decisions and having to tell people when they're not good enough. And it was really, really good for me to see that personally to the players. Because clearly it must happen in the training ground and when they're doing their pre-match discussions and stuff. If he's not happy with something, And it certainly made a difference to the players. Brilliant. I loved it.
Well, that took us to half time, 2-1 at half time, and I'm sure David Moyes and the West Ham fans and the West Ham players thought, okay, we're back in this now, 2-1. We can come out strong in the second half and stick at them, and we can break them down. And at the very worst, we'll get a draw. That must have been the thinking, but no, not having any of that. 45 minutes. Fabianski and kicks the ball, plays out from the back to Aguerd. Aguerd kind of fumbles the ball and complete fuck up from them. Murphy robs them, and a lovely pass from Murphy, not being selfish, into Wilson, who had an open goal to hit. Bang. 3-1 Newcastle. Cue my Wilson celebration again. Have to do this an awful lot of work tonight. But yeah, Wilson 3-1 up, and yeah, we are laughing at this stage. And Moyes, hands on the head. What do we do now? Everyone looking at each other. I don't know what's happening. Thoughts on that goal, Pete?
It was just an accumulation of fantastic play. We said this to Lawless on Monday. We said it to him. We said that
intensity.
It's a case of, can they deal with the intensity? Can they deal with the press? Not for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but for 90 plus minutes. And it showed that they couldn't. And I have to say, there's a comment here from Michael Palmer. Well, welcome, Michael, to the show. And I think it's quite fitting for this. Is it just me being overly sensitive here? But I'm so sick of people saying that West Ham gifted us goals while dismissing the fact that we forced the errors. That's, in a nutshell, our style of play. And I had to put this comment up because it falls nicely to exactly what you've just mentioned about the goal. From my perspective, this is exactly it, what Michael's just said here. It is us forcing the play, not them gifting us goals. We've put them under pressure to get the ball, to nick the ball. Murphy, outstanding. Nicks the ball off Aguerd. Does the simple thing. He could have took the shot. And I tell you what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, he'd have shot there. Probably
hit the net.
We probably would have got subbed on the back of it. Okay? Now, what he's doing now is winning the ball and he's looking and making the right decisions. Simple ball into Wilson, and Wilson won't have an easier goal to score this season. And that is down to Newcastle United. Newcastle United's intensity, work rate, press. We've said it for a long time, Daz. We've talked on many shows together, and we said it, both of us, to Lawless, and it came true. And we're not saying anything new here. This is what we've been watching. This is what we've been discussing on panels, on reviews, reaction shows, all the rest of it for the whole season now. This is what Newcastle United are doing.
Yeah, and not many teams can cope with it, like the pressing and relentlessness. And then I was watching Match of the Day there before the show again. Watch some of the highlights back, and it just shows you that they use the width of the pitch as well, and the gaps. And of course, Gabby Logan didn't realize that she had made a nice little comment. She said they were purring. I said, meow. Great one, Gabby. I like that one. I must write that one down to use it in the show. But no, credit her. She got it first. Yeah. So we are 3-1 up at this stage. Next, the move of the match that didn't result in the goal. 54 minutes. I can't even describe it. It was a Trippier ball across our back line. I don't know who hit the ball. I just go towards the end of it. There was Joe Linton receives the ball. Lovely back heel back to ASM. ASM places the ball to Murphy. If that had gone in, Fabianski, great save by the way. But if that had gone in, it would have been the goal of the season. And we have a few contenders, but it was just perfect move. It was very unlucky that one didn't go in. What do you make of that first? Because that deserves a bit of talking point.
It was. You know what? If I was a West Ham fan watching that, I'd have been frightened at the ease and the quality in which we cut them apart. And we did it a number of times, but that one epitomized everything. And and it's I'm still gutted now that it didn't go in.
Yeah,
good save by Fabianski, fair enough, but that would have just typified everything that Newcastle United is about. The long ball from Longstaff, the first time touch from Maxi, bang into the path of Joe Linton, the back heel, the first time touch into into Murphy. The one thing I could say is maybe Max's ball could have had a little bit more on it, so it fell onto his right foot rather than his left. But that's just me being picky.
Yeah,
I
fair.
mean, he still dug out his shot. It was a good shot, a shot that was good enough to go in. It just got saved. It's one of those things, but just outstanding football. And that was when the game was done. You know, we were
Yeah.
3-1 up. They were never getting back into it. I don't think there's been a team this season that scored 3 goals past us. So at that point, I'm thinking they're not going to break us down. Like they're just not. So at that point, I'm thinking, wow, like this is just to be still producing that level of football at that point in the game. Wow.
Yeah, I was just thinking, just as you're describing there, I was expecting this kind of stuff like in 5 years' time, when we've had so many transfer windows and we have one of the best squads in Europe. But this is the start of it. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Right.
Guys, just look at that move. Look at the players that were involved in that move. Sean Longstaff. Last year, people wanted him gone.
Yeah.
In January, happy for him to go to Everton on a free transfer.
Yeah.
You know, he played the ball to Maxi, who lots of people even recently want him sold, like want him gone, expect him to be gone in the summer. Who knows?
Hey, Graham.
Joe Linton. Yeah, Joe Linton, a year and a half ago, was at the club, and Jacob Murphy. You know, 3 weeks ago, I think everyone would have people would have drove him to his next club. And those 4 players have produced that type of quality of football. So
hey, it just reminds me of something that Chris said in the chat. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but the Homer Simpson thing, where Homer sits up in the bed and he says to Marge, I think I love Jacob Murphy. And it was perfect, because it was like all the slagging that we have given him in the past and stuff like so. Fair play to Jacob Murphy. But right, let's move on. Let's go to ASM had a shot. Fabianski saved in 58 minutes. On come the subs. On comes Isak, Gordon, and Willock. Off goes Wilson, Murphy, and ASM. Bruno had a shot at 73 minutes, went wide. Then at 79 minutes, what the West Ham fans were leaving early. Why? Because they had 2 more goals to endure. So why not stick around on that 79? But no, they were leaving. Up the apple and pears they go, and off home. So yeah, that's 79 minutes. 81 minutes. Yes, a bit of brilliance, absolute brilliance here as they line it up. Yeah. So where do I go from here? Bruno ball. Fabianski over the top. Fabianski comes out to try and clear it, makes a mess of it. Isak control. Here he is with control, and the lob finish over whoever was running back and into a pretty much open goal. Sits back, admires it with Fabianski. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I think that's going to go in. And yeah, cue the celebrations. Absolutely ice cold from this man. He's so cool and calm about it. It was some finish. It was just like at that stage, that was the icing on the cake. We didn't know there was another one coming, but that was the icing on the cake. And that Isak goal. But what did you make of that one, Pete?
I actually thought like look, great goal. I mean, the ball in from Bruno over the top, just like the weight of the pass was just brilliant. Like Fabianski had to come out of it, because if you watch it, even in a foot race with the 2 centre backs, Isak's leaving them for dead. He's getting on to the end of that. There's no doubt about it. So Fabianski has to come out, but the touch is poor. It's almost like he gets there and then doesn't know what to do with it, and then just kind of literally touches it right into his path. But for him to chest it first time and play it like that, it's not easy. They're just sheer instincts. And that's what Isak's all about. And it almost felt like, because he stood there, he almost felt like he was a little bit embarrassed by the fact that he was presenting such an easy chance to score. I mean, the Wilson one was bad enough, but that one there, it was like, wow. And he almost kind of like, was just like, I saw another picture on it of it, and there's like 2 speech bubbles.
Yes.
And like, I can't remember what was said in it, but I just thought it was hilarious. And I'm sure there'll be many more of them coming out, and it's just
And
like
look,
Fabianski, in one mind, you look at him, he's
his
thinking,
eyes are closed. There, look at him.
he's thinking my career's over here, like, I'm done, and he's that's going like, yeah, I feel sorry for you, but I've got to do what I've got to do. It's just a very brief conversation in telepathy, but
Yeah.
just a great goal again. Force the play, force the mistake. We've got the boys that can do the business. Loved it.
Yeah, Isak is thinking there. I've got a bat with Callum Wilson now, and Callum Wilson's back as well. So yeah, I've got to show off as well. But yeah, so that brought us to 4-1. At this stage, the West Ham Stadium is empty, apart from the Newcastle fans. So 74 minutes. Burn off target on target gets a run out. Nice to see. And 86 minutes. Even trips. We can get to take off trips. Mankio on. 89 minutes. We think it's all over. It is now. Who was it? Bruno ball again onto to Joe Linton, and I don't even have a picture of this because I took Dom Square's one picture here, and it also shows. Here's Joe Linton. The last picture there is Joe Linton finishing off our 5 goals and making it 5-1 on the night full time. Pete, what do you think of Joe Linton's last goal? Great ball from Bruno again.
Superb ball from Bruno Guimaraes. And actually, Joe Linton, I think a few minutes before that, had a similar opening on that left-hand side, and he tries to play it. He almost like he gets caught in two minds. He tries to play it across goal. He's not sure whether to shoot or play it across goal. He does neither, and it just kind of just trickles out of play. And you're thinking, just go for goal, like you're there. You've opened up the space. Lo and behold, he gets the same opportunity again, and he doesn't deny himself the opportunity twice. And it's a great finish. It's a brilliant finish on his left foot. 2 left-footed goals, by the way, from Joe Linton.
Yeah.
In the game. Great goal. Brilliant goal. Does anyone know how many goals Joe Linton scored this season? I was of the mindset it was 5, but I'm not sure if it's 5 or 6. I don't know. I could be wrong. But if anyone could put in the chat how many goals he's scored this season, because again, he's regardless. I think for the work that he does on the pitch, and he's putting goals to the game now. He's becoming a well-rounded midfielder.
But okay, so Pete, at this thing, okay, it's 5-1, it's all over. But we have the post-match press conference to the media. So this is what happened next.
5-1. Newcastle have just beat us 5-1 at home. What a shambles! I don't even know where to start. Complete self-destruction. Honestly, mistake after mistake after mistake. I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless.
Evening, Dan. Yeah, so that's a little clip. Dan was obviously gutted, as we would be if we were in that situation. But that's a little clip from West Ham fans TV. Go watch the full clip. It's 5 minutes long, but there's some golden nuggets in there. You have to watch the full clip to capture. So just want to heads up there to Dan, who was on our away days with us there the other night before the game. But that was it, Pete. What a show, really, and what it was on the night. An absolutely unreal result for us. But we go to some questions, or we go to ratings.
There's a couple of questions in here. Some of them. Well, first of all, Craig Lee, welcome Craig Lee in the chat as always. Anyone see? I think it's the Jason Cundy on TalkSport last night. I've seen it, so I know what he's talking about. But if anyone hasn't, just go onto YouTube or whatever and have a look at the Jason Cundy clip. He names all of these West Ham players, current and old manager, and he's basically like, you've had one hell of a beating, and he's like waiting, and it is really good. And to be fair, Jason Cundy's never been very much of a kind of positive talker about Newcastle, but you know what, he did big Newcastle up for that result last night, and look, how can you not? because we were outstanding. But yeah, if you haven't watched that clip, that was a really, really good one. So not necessarily a question as such. Question here, just on your opinion, really. Shaw played like Beckenbauer. Your thoughts? I mean, don't have to give me your rating, but thoughts on Shaw?
No. Well, I will be coming to my Shari because all the way through the match, I was thinking, I'm going to give Sharma man of the match here. He's playing absolutely unreal. But I changed it later on. But he had an unreal game. Actually, I'll tell you what I give Shar. No, I give him a 9. I thought he was absolutely class. And the passing and that through ball, and he hit some more good passes after that. But yeah. Absolutely, he was solid. What else was I say? And he got an assist. Yeah, well, that was obviously the assist. But yeah. So yeah, I can see where Andrew's coming with that one.
Definitely. An ambitious, not necessarily a comment, but just a statement here from Andrew. 9 points behind City. The question is probably, could we?
No, we're not going to. No, I did look at the table and go, if we hadn't got so many draws, if we had turned some of those draws into wins or even wins and defeats, we would have been closer to them. But look, we're already carried away. Let's not get that far carried away. No, still absolutely unbelievable if we finish top 4. Never mind anything else. It's all in our hands still, and that's the way we want to keep it.
Definitely. There's a few other questions in there, but I think we're probably best to leave some of them for later because I think they're part of maybe a further discussion afterwards.
Cool. So actually,
questions coming in, guys and girls, because there are some crackers in there that we'll get to for sure.
So yeah. Because sometimes I have this picture ready and I never bring it up. Then so the obligatory team photo that we always wait to hear to see. So yeah, I was there. Where's Eddie Howe? Were they interviewing him at the time? But no, he's right at the back, up at the top left. If you're looking at now, so yeah,
he's buzzing.
Oh, class! Always great to see those.
Did you see the tweet? I can't remember who put it out. I saw it not long ago actually. And it was based on the lads on the right hand side, and it was like if these were a boy band, what would it be? So Callum Wilson, Murphy, Bruno, Isak, and Joe WHUNEW, all with their tops off. And so if you just kind of corner them off, box them off, and if I'll ask the question, if you were to call them a boy band, what would their name be? Let's get those responses out there.
Yeah, best one gets. Well, Richie, do we get 400 likes? Is Richie going to be cleaning someone's house? I never checked. Let's check that. Let's check that. Checked it out. I think it was Michael Palmer's question from the other night. Pretty did. Yeah, but yeah, that's an interesting one. Right, let's go to the ratings. Let's go to Popey. As I mentioned in the walkthrough, I get he made a great save from the free kick from Paqueta. I give Pope an 8.
Yeah, I think I gave Pope an 8.5, so not too different really. I thought Pope was very good with his distribution. I was slightly annoyed that players kept putting him under pressure because he's still not 100% with his thigh injury, and you can tell he looks a little bit uncomfortable with his kicking. But we kept playing it back to him when we didn't need to. But he dealt with it really well. I thought his distribution was good. Came and collected some good takes in the first and second half, and he made a really good save to Paqueta's free kick in the first half as well. If you watch it again, he actually doesn't see a lot of the ball until it's very late, so he got down really well and made a good save there. But other than that, he didn't really have much to do. But so for those little pockets of things that he did really well, I give him an 8.5.
8.5. Okay, cool. Trips up next. I didn't have any notes at all on trips, but look, it wasn't. It's it's not these games that we need him more than ever. Really, it's more than the tighter games, and he put in a solid performance. When you're not taking too much notice of trips, you know you've had a good day. So 8 for me for trips.
Uh, yeah, I probably. Yeah, I'd probably give Trips an 8.5. Same as Pope. I thought he really marshaled the team really well. I thought he was well organised. He was very, very vocal right from the beginning. I thought his set piece deliveries were good. I thought his passing was good, and really got us up the pitch. I thought he used the ball really well. Very rarely made a mistake, if at all. I think against West Ham. So yeah, 8.5. Like you said, it wasn't really anything where you stood out. I thought, wow, like that's amazing, like an assist or something like that. But he just went about his job and did everything very, very well. So yeah, 8.5.
Cool. I'm just looking at the chat now as well. So I see it said there's a 9, 8, 10, and another 9 for trips. So yeah, we're in around the same money there. Next up is Botman. Sorry, Shar's next. So I already gave my rating for Shar, 9 for me. He got the assist, the through ball. He was solid throughout. He didn't go down with a head injury actually, because I normally put it in our chat when he does. But he was class, and as Andrew said, Beckenbauer esque there last night. So 9 was up there as a contender for me for man of the match. He doesn't get the man of the match, but he was heading that way for a while. If he hadn't scored as many goals, he probably would have got it. But 9 for me.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go 9.5 for me. Shaw, 9.5. No, I'll stick with 9. There's a reason for it. I'm gonna stick with 9. If I'm right in thinking, it was an assist for Joe Linton. Great ball in and behind. He scores a second goal. Defensively, outstanding. By the way, brilliant. Some great tackles in there. The only thing that probably stops me from giving him a 9.5 is his use of the ball, particularly in the first half. I don't know if you'd agree. I think there's someone else has put in the chat actually, and I didn't know. I don't know this, by the way, but I can't remember who said it, but I think it was something to do with it was Craig Lee. I'll just put this up on the chat 1 second. How bollock Shaw for too many long balls. We kept giving up possession, and so in that section of the game. That could well be the case. I don't know for sure, but he did give the ball away needlessly a number of times, and that's me being really sort of hypercritical here. But still, a 9 is a fantastic score and well deserved, in my opinion.
Yeah. I see a few 9s, 9.5 as well, and Craig is screen that he calls it sloppy. That pass that you referred to, but yeah, no, 9 is a perfect score for sure. Right, let's move on. Botman, passing excellent as always. The tackle on Antonio as well. I have put down as it was in early in the first half. I put him down as also as fault for the goal. So I'm gonna give him lower than Shar. I'm gonna give him an 8.
Okay, I'm going to give Botman the same as Shaw. I'm going to give him a 9. Yes, at fault for the goal, but was equally dominating in defence against Mikel Antonio. I thought some of his interceptions were outstanding. I thought he was very, very good in his defensive position. So for me, I probably would have given him a 9.5. I thought he did perform slightly better than Shaw overall. But because of the mistake for the goal, that kind of brings him down to a level kind of keel from my perspective. So and give him a 9. But I thought Botman and Shaw again were defensively. I thought they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Cool. In the chat, just I see a 7s, 8.5s, 8s, 8. Yeah, so yeah, we're in around the same level there. Burn up next. I didn't write too much notes down for Burn. I know in the first half I was kind of saying a 7, but after the winning 5-1, I said, I'll have to give him an 8. So I give him an 8.
Burn, I will give a 8.5. I thought Burn wasn't as good as the two centre backs. He had a, I thought he eventually dealt with Bowen really, really well. Another tricky, pacey winger. He
Yeah.
got caught early on once or twice. But yeah, I think his use of the ball lets him down. There was one in the second half where he had the ball. I think he ended up
Yes.
halfway line. He just ended up just kicking it out of play. It was just
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I remember that.
It's just like I'm just thinking, like, what are you doing? You're giving them the possession back. But look, for me, he dealt with Bowen really, really well from a defensive point of view. But yeah, just his use of the ball kind of maybe just let him down slightly. So 8.5.
Right. Okay. The chat now is I see sevens for Burn. I see fives for Burn as well. Wow. God, that's been harsh. But right. Well, let's move on.
We won
No,
5-1. We won
yeah.
5-1. I am not going to be negative at all. There'll
No
probably be
way.
nobody that gets anything less than a 8.5 for me. I'm just putting it out there because you
I'm,
don't win
I'm
5-1 every
surprised you've
day.
got that low, Pete.
Well, yeah. Maybe I won't again. Let's see.
Right. Let's go on. Let's get on to Bruno in the middle. Passing. Unreal. And if you're talking about like someone that passes like they're playing golf or something, it's just so precise. Beautiful just to watch his passing alone. His control, his desire. He got 2 assists in the game. He gets a 10 for me. And you know what? He gets a 10 and he's not getting my man of the match.
Yeah.
Bruno.
Bruno Guimaraes was outstanding today. Or yesterday, should I say. Feels like today. I watched it because I watched it again. You know what I'm like. I watched the game back.
Why the timer would have.
Yeah, I just love it. I love it. He was outstanding. By far the best midfielder on the pitch. All this talk of Declan Rice. I'm sure Declan Rice will feature as a conversation on this show at some point. But like he just, for all the talk in this country of Declan Rice, he just basically sat him down and said, nah, "You're not on my level, not yet." And he was just so good.
Not yet. But when we sign him in the summer after getting top four and Eddie Howe works his magic on him, can you imagine Declan Rice and Bruno in the middle?
Yeah. Oh well, it's a mouth-watering thought. Should we say? And yeah, not yet on Bruno's level unless he's wearing a black and white shirt. So. But look, that's a conversation for another day or maybe later. Who knows? But
another summer.
The one I loved how he just outplayed Declan Rice. Declan Rice is all action, but he couldn't get anywhere near Bruno, and you could see how frustrated he was even in the first half. But the fact that they had Paqueta man marking Bruno, and Bruno was just getting lost, like just losing him time and time again. Just his little pockets of movement. Paqueta was like, he didn't know what to do. You just see his head go like that all the time because he doesn't know where he's at. He just turns up in positions, picking the ball. What Paqueta must have been thinking in that game, watching Newcastle play the way that they played, watching Bruno doing his thing and creating that sort of magic in the middle of that midfield. He must have been thinking, what have I done here? What have I done here making that move? And you know what? Lucas Paqueta didn't even really play that badly. I thought
he did okay.
Well. Yeah, I thought he kept the ball really well. Very rarely made a mistake. Looked to try and make things happen in that midfield, but he just got overrun by quality players.
And
Bruno
Joelinton flattened him a few times as well.
Good. Let him know he's there.
He was sorry he did it, but he did flatten him a few times. I don't think nothing was intentional. But right, that's Bruno, and I see in the chat I saw 9.5, I saw 9s, I saw 10s. Yeah, so we're on the money there as well for Bruno. Right, let's move on. Longstaff. Yeah, there was a few nice passes, and you mentioned that. I think that's an unreal move. It was Longstaff's ball that started a lot of that as well. Well, altogether, I'm giving Longstaff an 8.
I'm giving Longstaff a 9. Again, and people sometimes get on the back of us with these ratings, and every time I keep saying with Longstaff, when I give him a high mark, and they'll go, "Why he weren't that good? He didn't do this, he didn't do that." He does all the dirty work. We've said it so many times, Daz, even back in November time, October time. He does the dirty work that nobody wants to do and nobody sees. He does all the groundwork, all the chasing, all the recoveries. He does the lot. He even just running back, sprinting 50, 60 yards just to stand in front of someone to stop them playing a forward pass. That's the type of job that he does. He stops people playing. But equally, yesterday, God, keep getting mixed up. I watched it. He keeps playing these balls, these long distance balls that were opening up the team. It might be a 20-yard pass that opens up the play on the other side of the pitch, or the long ball that we talked about that created that chance. It should have been a fantastic goal. He added something to his game, and he played really, really well again. And I'm liking the kind of how this midfield's really coming together. It's really coming together strongly, and everyone seems to be firing with confidence in their positions and knows exactly what they're going to do. But yeah, for me, I'm giving Short Longstaff a 9. I thought he was brilliant.
Cool. See 8s, 9s in there. So yeah, we're all on the same kind of page with regard to Longstaff. Okay, let's move on to J7. J7 has got the second goal first and got the last goal first. And that was that back heel move. He did pick up a yellow card with the tackle on Keta, but all in all, I thought he was class. Coming back into the side, he's composure in front of goal as well, and two well taken goals as well. His second goal, he did really well. It was still a difficult finish, and he had like 2 or 3 defenders on him. I'm giving J7 a 10, and I'm also giving him my man of the match. Big Joe.
Big Joe. Yeah, it has to be a 10. 2 goals, fantastic performance, bullied Paqueta and many other West Ham players on the pitch, fully deserved. I'll quite comfortably give him man of the match too. I think he fully deserves it. The fact that he had his 2 games missed and then comes back after the international break, finds himself on the bench. You think at that point he's got it all to do, but no, he comes on. He comes on against Manchester United, plays really, really well. Backs that up with another performance from the start. 2 goals added to his tally. He is just continuing to grow and develop. How he's not in that Brazilian squad, I've got no idea. And it'll be an absolute travesty that at the end of the season he's not called up to that Brazilian squad, because again, he's gone up against a Brazilian midfielder chosen all the time.
Yeah,
and dominated him, and scored 2 goals off the back of it. And if you're a midfielder that's Brazilian fighting for the Champions League, surely you've got to be considered. I don't get it, but man of the match, 10 out of 10, outstanding.
Agreed. Great. I see 10s. I see 9.6. Hey, that's cheating. That's taken to a whole new level. And there's 9.5s in there as well. So yeah, everyone agrees that Joe Linton had an unreal game. Yeah, and Brazil's still looking for a manager. I think Ancelotti keeps being mentioned as someone that could take it over at some point in time. So maybe it's on the way for Big Joe. Where are we? We're on to ASM. ASM. He got the assist with the first goal. He's pulled back at halftime as well, or just right before halftime as well. If you remember, there was no one happened to be there, but he did cut the ball back across the face of goal. So if someone was there, that would have been another goal first. All together, I'm giving ASM an 8.
Yeah, I've got to give ASM a 9. So I think someone put 9.5, and I wouldn't even argue with that either. But I'm going to give ASM a 9. Got the assist. You know what? Yeah, why not? 9.5. Why not? It's a 5-1 win. Everybody's happy. Let's throw an extra 0.5 on there. Got the assist. He terrorized down our left-hand side, down their right, that Kira. Right, he must be still having nightmares after that.
He'll never play again.
Yeah, it was like what he did to Zabaleta years ago. Remember, he absolutely destroyed Zabaleta, and I don't think he played for West Ham again after that. I think he retired like a few weeks later. He was like straight back on the bench. Like, it was one of those type of performances. And the only reason he's not got anything higher, the only reason he hasn't got a 10, for example, is the only thing missing from his performance was a goal. His layoffs, his passes were all spot on, making the right decision at the right time. He got his assist that was well deserved. He could have had another assist if Murphy had scored. You know, we talked about it again against Man United. He got, he got an assist for that game, but he could have had 3 in that game as well. He could have had 3 again against West Ham, and it's only down to people not finishing. It doesn't reflect the way it should with ASM. He could be sitting on 6 or 7 assists already this season. Just
assist king.
Games.
Who would have thought that?
Could well be. And we talk about wanting him to be doing more and having the final product. He is, and Craig Lees just said it, ASM is starting to produce the end product consistently, and he is doing that. Now it's down to he can't then be responsible for what happens next. He can't be responsible for Wilson putting the header into the goal, or Willock missing against Man United, or Murphy having his shot saved. He can't be responsible for that. But if he's putting people in positions where they're making or given a great opportunity to score, he is doing his job. And like he said after the game, when he tweeted out and put on Instagram a really nice tweet that or message, and he says that people may not rate him, but he rates himself, and he will do whatever he possibly can to show and to prove that he is good enough to play. Like, he's a team player, he plays for the team, and he will do whatever he can to ensure the team wins. And he's loving and enjoying playing for the club. And you can tell Eddie Howe proved it in his comments after the game. He is loving Eddie Howe, Alan St-Maximin playing for Newcastle United. Alan St-Maximin is loving playing for Newcastle United under Eddie Howe. Everything is good.
Well, then that leads us to a question from Lisa here. Has ASM finally been Howed? Because if you think about it, he was that kind of maverick player for us for a long time. Then he was being too much of a team player, and we weren't getting the best what he's really, really good at. So he had to kind of find that balance. Is he now just starting to find that balance? Of course, that would have to be a kind of bit of transition there to get to that stage. So maybe going forward and links into consistency, if he can be the maverick and be the kind of team player, balance there correctly, he's a starter for us then going forward. And what an asset he would be in our squad going into next season and into European games as well. So what's your thoughts there? Has he finally been Howed, Pete?
Lisa's brought up a great question again. Has he been Howed? You could say he has. With some players, Joe Linton, Shaw, Miggy, Joe Linton and Shaw for 2 players, they were Howed very quickly. They got what they needed to do and got it and ran with it and have been fantastic and consistent ever since. Miggy was a little bit later. Miggy was later. Back end of last season, pre-season, start of this season even, but then got it. It's clicked. We're seeing what we're seeing from him now. For ASM, it's took a little bit longer. He's had to change his style. He's had to learn and mature and develop as a person, not just as a player. And now we're seeing somebody that is now understanding what it takes to play at the top level. And it's not just all about me, and what I do as an individual. It's about what can I do to help the team become better. And his comments in his Instagram post kind of confirms that. I think he now understands that actually I have a role to play, not just for me to show how good I am, but what I can do for the team. And where he would have just took on 5 or 6 players and had a shot and missed, what he's doing now, he's taking on 2 or 3 players, making the right pass that's creating a moment. And that's more important. So he's finally getting it. But again, Martin's talked about it. You've talked about it. Chris has talked about it. Richie, myself. He has to be consistent. He's shown in 2 games that he can do the business. But what we want to see now,
bring on that third one. Yeah,
exactly, between now and the end of the season, let's continue that form. Eddie Howe showed faith in him, and he talked about it in his interview that he had from the West Ham game at St James's Park. He gave him his starting berth, and he said, "You're starting, you're playing." And to be fair, he's pretty much played, apart from maybe 1 or 2, every single game. When he's been fit and available, he's played. Eddie Howe's gone, you know what? I'm giving you a run in the team. So he's almost kind of repaying that faith back by now starting to put in performances. And you know what? I don't think anyone will complain if between now and the end of the season he continues to put his performances in that got us Champions League football. If he turns up in these moments where we need him now, like the Hatton Ben Arthurs did, like the Laurent Roberts did back in the day, they turned up when it mattered and did the business for Newcastle. If he can do it now, that takes us to Champions League, nobody will complain.
And if you want more about ASM, there's going to be a DVD with the best discussion parts coming out at the end of the season, because we do tend to talk about ASM on the highs and lows a lot through the season, and different guests that come and join us as well do as well. All right, Graham Bailey. Right, let's move on. Let's go to Murphy. Murphy next. At the start of the game, our first half, I was saying, some decisions again. He tried to lob the keeper at one stage. He got nowhere near. Suppose if it went in, like we'd be all talking about. That's what we'd be talking about. But look at he got the assist obviously, and an unselfish pass into to Wilson for our third goal. I'm giving Murphy an 8. Again, a solid performance from him. Fair play to him. 8.
Murphy gets a 9 for me. I've got to be honest. I'm loving Murphy at the moment. I absolutely love him. He, for me, he's and I said this on the Geordies Down South group earlier on. I think I dropped it in this morning. I said Murphy is undroppable at the moment. And that seems crazy to say.
Where we were.
But the way he's playing right now and what he's giving to this team, you can't drop him. Like, he is giving so much to this team. Like, his effort, his passion, his work rate, he's producing and not, getting an assist off that great piece of work where he nicked the ball for Wilson. He is making big moments happen in this team. He's creating chance after chance after chance. I'm loving it. And David Cook, I love everyone. I love everyone at the moment. I do. You know why? Because we're class. We are absolutely class. And I love everyone at the moment. But Murphy gets special praise for me because of where he's come from. Now, I've got a question for you all. With Murphy, is Jacob Murphy's turnaround the biggest success story for Eddie Howe? Of all the players, Joe Linton, Shaw, Miggy, ASM, there's probably one or two of those to talk about. Is Jacob Murphy the biggest success story for Eddie Howe? Think about where he's come from.
No. Yeah, I know. I'm going. I see where you come from there, and you could pick Murphy as that, but for me it'd be Miggy, because like there was a stage where, if you remember, our squad game 1 probably was first, and it was like we said Miggy or Murphy, who are we keeping, and we ended up saying. I think we ended up saying keep Murphy because he had a longer contract, and get rid of Miggy now. So Miggy was so far down as well. He was playing way too far back in the Bruce system at the time, and was it the Bruce system? I can't remember. He wasn't doing that first, and he wasn't getting a look in either. So I think Miggy, and look at the run of goals he went on, and he'll come back and he'll score more goals before the season's out as well. So I think I put Miggy in there as the big turnaround. And I see people, Geordie Jack says J7, Murphy, and then Miggy third. Yeah, everyone has their own turnaround stories there, I guess, and it's great. It's great to see that it's not just we're not just talking about one player. They're talking about 5 or 6 that he's turned around. Like it's absolutely unbelievable. And I think I just watched a bit of Craig Hope there as well before he came on, and like Craig Hope was before saying that Eddie Howe is the best manager in England. Now he's saying he's the best manager in Europe. Now, bit tongue in cheek, but he's look at he's what he's done is absolutely unbelievable. So, but for you, Pete, is Murphy the biggest turnaround for you?
I think he's up there. I don't know whether he's the biggest. I think you've made a really good case for Miggy, Joe Linton. There's a lot of good ones up there, but I think yeah, he has to be up there
Kraft as well. Remember,
yeah,
he turned Kraft around as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think with Jacob Murphy, from being a player that would have been sold had he not had a contract that was as long as it was, was pretty much a squad player and was told he was only ever going to be that, but was quite happy to be that and work hard and be part of the team and the squad. Who's now worked his way not only into the first team, but to be one of the first names on the team sheet is such a crazy place to have built to rebuild himself to, and doing it with a team that's sitting third in the league right now with 10 games to go. I just think it's fantastic. But it's a discussion. It's a great discussion because a lot of people have mentioned one or two others. Some people have mentioned Shaw. Chris Dawson has mentioned Miggy, Longstaff, and Shaw. I hadn't mentioned Miggy in there. Sorry, Longstaff in there. That's an interesting one. You've got J7 in there. There was like I said that you mentioned as well, to coin a phrase, but Kraft is another one on a smaller scale. Maybe would have been on a bigger scale if it had not got injured. But there's so many in there. It's great to see. It really is. But look, with Murphy, regardless of that, Lisa says she has proper warmed food for you. She's got proper warmed food if you ever need it, Murphy. You've got that at the very least. I'm joking. She meant warm too. She's proper warmed too, Murphy. But warmed food is great too.
I thought that Lisa had turned her attentions. You know what I mean, Lisa, to Jacob Murphy now at this stage. But no. Right, I wanted to remind people because it might be we were 1 hour in. It's probably a good time to ask people to hit that like button and subscribe because we always forget to mention it. Let's set a target. I put that at the start, yeah. But let's set a target, Pete. Pick a number. What's our target for this video? We'll hope we get 4,000 views of the Man United reaction show. What do you think we'll get here? And how many likes would you like?
Why ask for what? 400?
400? There's your number. There's your target you have to beat. Get us to 400 likes, people. Right, we're not finishing the ratings. Let's move on. Let's go to Mr. Callum Wilson. Loves a goal against West Ham. Loves to dance the Macarena. He got 2. And he still doesn't get a 10 for me. I'm giving him a 9. I don't know. I'm not giving him a 10. I don't know why. Why I give him a 9 on my ratings. I know he needed a hat trick, and he would have got the 10 for me then. But I'm giving Wilson a 9. I know, a bit crazy, but 9.
Oh wow, Wilson has to get a 10 for me. I thought Wilson was superb against West Ham. Absolutely superb. 2 goals, but his performance was outstanding. We talked about a week or 2 ago about how we felt Wilson had lost a yard of pace and he didn't look the same, like he was kind of winding down. What he's proven is that he just hasn't been training. He hasn't got his fitness levels up, and that he needed to get up to 100% fitness to be proving what he's all about. He's now proved what he's all about in the game against Man United. This game, correctly. This game, he continued to press and work and sprint constantly. There was no worries about his hamstrings or injury. He was willing to work, press, and sprint to every player in that West Ham defensive area, including the goalkeeper. He worked his absolute socks off, and when it mattered, was in the right position at the right time to put the ball in the net. And look, for all we've said about Callum Wilson and for all the talk of him, maybe being sold on, being finished, being washed out, the guy is sitting on 10 goals, 10 Premier League goals and 3 assists, 13 goal contributions over the course of this season. He's one behind our top goal scorer in Miguel Almiron, and we've still got 10 games to go. That, for me, is a great kind of return. It's a great return. He's gone into the top 10 of our all-time Premier League goal scorers, and he's just proven again that once he gets games and he's 100% fit, he can do the business. Fair play to him. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 10. Obviously not man of the match. Joe Linton gets that for me, but Callum Wilson was a close second. Have to be said.
Right, that's it. I'm changing it. I'm going to 9.5 for Wilson. Yeah, 9 wasn't enough. I'm even going to write it in my piece of paper just so I remember. Right, that is the end of our ratings. Shall we look at the table?
Yes.
But Pete, this 10 games to go in the season, we normally start here at the table. We normally start looking here. Where's Newcastle? Where are they? Yeah, they should be on here fighting out, battling out for to survive and stay in the Premier League. They're not there. They're not mid-table either. No, it must be wrong. Something wrong here. Oh, up at third spot still. 10 games to go. Top of that mini league with Newcastle ahead of Man United and Tottenham and Brighton. Villa had another great win as well. Must say, and be interesting that game we come up against next. Liverpool down there in the 8th spot on 43 points. Love to see it. Yeah. So this is the table. What do you think, Pete? All those green ticks. Love that.
It don't half look good, does it? Those four green ticks there, absolutely fantastic. Brilliant form at the moment. 4 on the bounce, looking at potentially 5 at the weekend for a full house of green ticks. And why not go for it? 56 points we could end on by the end of Saturday evening. And you know what? That would be a fantastic return for a period of games that actually was, on paper, a tough set of fixtures. And I'm so confident with these boys right now, with the way they're playing and the confidence that's oozing out of them. This could be the end of a really tough, physically demanding week, but a very, very tough week on paper. And if we potentially come out with 3 wins, Man United at home, West Ham away, Brentford away, that is a fantastic return for Newcastle and actually puts us right in the mix, not just for top 4, but for 3rd. It really does. I don't know what you think about that. About it potentially putting us in the mix for 3rd now.
It does, but I'm not too bothered 3rd or 4th, just once we finish in the top 4. But yeah, it definitely does. The trajectory we're on at the moment, we're on target for. But look, there is going to be some kind of roller coaster action along the way. But let's keep going. Let's stay positive though, and get our next game. Just think one game at a time. You love the way Eddie Howe just never gets carried away either. They always try to catch him with those Champions League questions, but he's not having none of it. Let's focus on that Brentford game, and the game is coming up on Saturday, 3:00. So all focus on that. Go again, and I know the lads are staying down in London this week as well to focus on that, and let's bring home another 3 points.
I was going to say, and Bobby's just mentioned it in the chat. He's put 3rd or 4th could matter hugely if Man United win the Europa League. Now, if Man United fall out of the top 4 but win the Europa League and we finish 4th, does that mean that we don't get Champions League? I'm not
I
quite
I
sure. I
I
knew
didn't
it was
really.
the Champions League.
Yeah, I
If you
didn't
mean,
really look into it that much because I thought Chelsea had. I thought the scenario was like Chelsea had to win the Champions League and Man United had to win the Europa League or something like that. I was it was it didn't bear thinking about at the time. So I said, no, I'll worry about that at a later date. There's no point worrying about that now. Let us get to that stage first, and then because they'll probably get knocked out along the way. So yeah, I haven't really worried about that yet.
no, it's N9 and NUFC is put on
Yeah,
here.
that's what I
No, it's
thought as
only
well.
Chelsea win the Champions League and Man United win the Europa. Okay, that's fine. So
What's the
that's
chances of that
fine.
happening?
I mean, look, it's looking like at this moment in time, and look, things could change, but it's looking like it could be us and Man United for that third or fourth spot. The way it's going right now and the form that we're in, so it puts us in great stead. But look, why not go for third with the form that we're in?
Yeah,
All the other teams seem to be faulting at the moment. You know, we beat Man United. They've got some tough fixtures. I think they've got Everton at the weekend, but after this, they've got some tough fixtures coming up. Tottenham have got some tough fixtures coming up. You know, Brighton have got some tough fixtures coming up. Villa have had some. Their form has been fantastic, but they've had a lot of lower league teams, lower in the like sort of low end bottom half of the table teams. Now I think they're coming into a period where they're going to be playing some of the teams near the top. They have us next weekend for one, and I think they've got some other teams that they've got higher up in the table. So they're going to be tested for sure. Liverpool have got some tough fixtures. You know, they've got Arsenal next is their next game. Things don't get easier for them. So we've got a real opportunity to come through our difficult spell of fixtures. And if we keep winning, we're just going to continue to create daylight, which other teams may not be able to claw themselves back from. So we're in a great position. And whilst we're here, let's just go for it. Let's go for it.
well, because while I was just messing around there, I was going to try and run this. See, can we see this again? Yes, because I have been updating. Now it's hard to see maybe, but
Ooh,
I haven't. Yeah, I have been updating it. So yeah, and I didn't get to update it today. So we won. Obviously, we got a green. But Man United bet Brentford. They get a green as well. Now I have to update the point system up
oh,
here.
that's this weekend. Brighton Spurs. That's massive. That's this
First,
weekend.
yeah.
Ooh, if we beat Brentford, and either one of those teams, if Spurs and Brighton drop points or there's a draw, again, daylight created. That's a massive game. Ooh, massive.
Bear with me here as I make some edits here. So, not that. Man United are in what position now? Where is I have the table
They're
there a second
fourth
ago.
at the moment. Fourth in the
They're
league.
fourth. They're fourth. So they're fourth, and Spurs are fifth.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I think we're pretty much up to date then, more or less. Yeah. So that's kind of how it's looking. So at the moment, if people can see that on screen. So yeah, we can see our games coming up with Brentford, Villa, Spurs, Everton, Southampton, Arsenal, Leeds, Leicester. The Brighton game has to be allocated a date, and Chelsea that should be allocated a date soon though. Can you imagine?
I think it'll be May, Daz. I think it'll be May.
Yeah, I think it may as well.
Because April for so many teams is so hectic, and as well as that, Brighton have got games in hand on us. I think they've got a game in hand on us as well, so they've got even an extra game on top of us to fit in, which might actually fall into our favour. So I think our rearranged fixture might well be. I've got a feeling it will either be just before or just after when we play Leicester, which is our last home game of the season. I've got a feeling like at the moment Leicester's our last home game of the season. I've got a feeling they might be either just before or just after in that midweek slot in May. So that's just I could be wrong, but I think because the fixtures for April have already been set in terms of TV and blah blah blah. That Brighton game will be on TV. You've got no doubt about it. It's a midweek game, rearranged fixture. So I've just got a feeling May will snap that one up.
Cool. Cool. Look, just that I bring it up what we're talking about, but yeah, we are going to do an in-depth look at this again, and we said we'll wait till we come to about here till after the game against Villa. We will have a part 2 of this in-depth run-in looking at this all the permutations again, and maybe by then as well the rearranged games will be allocated. So look, I'll remove it for now. It's coming up soon. Unloaded. That's it for the table. That's it. Another bit of the run in. Pete, maybe we'll take some questions.
Definitely. And just before that, the Georgia Team for Life and a couple of others have said it in the chat as well. Brighton are also in the semi-final of the FA Cup, so that's another weekend where their fixture won't go ahead. So again, it could be a really tough period for them where they play a lot of games in a short period of time, which we know for a team with a small squad, not ideal. Welcome, Carl Seggy. Always great to have you on, even when late, as many others are as well. Questions.
Let's go.
Let's have a look. Tom Dixon, welcome to the chat. Great to have you in during the show. Question:
Hi,
would you start the same lineup against Brentford on Saturday? So Pope, Trippier, Shaw, Botman, Burn, Bruno, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Murphy, Maxi, Wilson in the team. Would you start with that going into Brentford? What are your thoughts?
I'd like to see Isak come back in. I'd like to see Willa come back in some shape or form as well. It's going to be tough. It's a tough one for Eddie Howe. It's how they, and it's the turnaround as well. What condition they're in. He did get to take a few players off as well. I know it's towards the end to give others a run out. Coming off of the 63rd minute was Wilson, Murphy, and ASM. So I have a feeling he'll start with the same again. That's his kind of he's trick now. He's if we do well, he sticks with the team. Maybe Isak. It depends how he sees who he sees as being more of a threat in front of goal, Isak or Wilson against Brentford and the matchup that they have. So that's an Eddie Howe decision, not for us. We'll talk about it. We'll complain about it if it goes wrong, and we'll celebrate it if it goes right. But
I bet there was a few. I bet there was a few Newcastle fans across the country that in Europe, in the world, even that were going mad when they saw Wilson in the starting lineup and look what he did. So, who are we to kind of question Eddie Howe's decisions? But it could well be that if we're going off Eddie Howe, like you said, he'll stick with that team. We scored 5 goals. Wilson got 2. The defense is the defense; it won't change. And yeah, I think with Joe Linton scoring 2, he's almost kind of solidified his spot. But it's a tougher game. Brentford are a good side. I know they lost to Man United. They didn't play great, but at their home ground, they are tough to beat. So it's a difficult one. I would love to see Isak in there because I think we may need Isak in his running and his ability to link the play in that type of game. But I don't know. I can't even hang my hat on it because, like you've just said as well, Willock's been playing out of his skin at the moment. He came on yesterday and was brilliant again. So it's a tough one. It's a great question, Tom. Great question.
The other thing to throw in there as well, Gordon is playing. He's coming off the bench and he's doing class for us as well. Anderson, who there a few matches ago had a nice little cameo. He must, he's not going to start, but he's another option as well to throw on there in the game. So yeah, it's great to have such a strong bench to mix it up or to rest a few players as well when needed. To keep the momentum up.
Yeah, and Bobby just added to that. Is that anyone think Gordon comes in for Murphy on Saturday? I mean, what do you do? For me, Murphy's undroppable. At the moment, the way he's playing, he has to start.
Pete going mad. Murphy isn't starting. That I never thought I'd see that day.
I can't believe I'm saying it, Daz. I can't believe I'm saying it. But the reality is, since he's come into the team, he has been excellent in every game he's playing. He was excellent at Forest. Sorry, he's excellent at Wolves. Let's go back even further. He was excellent against Forest away. He was superb again against Man United, and he was terrific again last night. Like, he deserves his place in the team. Like, it's easy to say because it's Murphy that he can just be dropped at any point, but why would you? Why would you when he's playing this well? You'd want to get every ounce, every drop out. That's me.
Yeah. Bird. Yes, Omar. I think I'm in love with Jacob Murphy. Yeah, loved it. It was because Chris absolutely hated Jacob Murphy, and that was a complete turnaround.
I think there's a lot of us that are like this, and I'll go back to the point, and this is another show. Squad Game 3 was very, very interesting.
Yeah,
towards the end of the season, very, very interesting. A lot of dead certs may not be dead certs anymore, but we'll
I think it could be Martin against the rest of us in that one.
Yeah, but Mark's Mark. He'll say whatever.
Controversial.
He's got his own brain. He says whatever he wants. But that's not a bad thing either, because that's what makes such a great discussion. This one here, not really a question, but Tom said, watch Brentford on Match of the Day last night. They looked a hard team to beat. I don't know. Have you seen much of Brentford, Daz? I haven't. I've seen. Go on.
Yeah, I actually watched our game live yesterday, and then I watched just Match of the Day. I was going to go forward through the goals. I said, "Oh, Match of the Day is there. That's what that does anyway. It just takes the best bit." So I watched that back just to refresh my memory. And then the Man United Brentford game come on. I said, "I don't want to watch that." No, so no. I saw Rashford's goal, and that was it. So no, I haven't really watched them so much, but they will be difficult to beat. There are no easy games either in the Premier League, but with the form we're on, with the intensity, good luck to them. If we either have to have an off day, or they have to play absolutely unbelievable to try and catch us now in that game, I think. But we'll see.
Definitely. Let's have a look. There's a few other good questions that have come in. Let's just move on from some of these. Ooh, right. This is, I don't know whether to put this question out now. I'm not going to put this question out just yet. We'll come back to this in a second. Let's go to. I listened to a couple of West Ham fans waxing lyrical about how good Dan Burn was. Was I watching a different game? Do you think he played well enough to be talked about so positively about the opposition fans?
No, no. I did give him an 8. I remember in the chat some people were giving him 7s, or somewhere even around the 7 mark. But no, he had an okay game. He wasn't our best performer on the night. But no, why would they be waxing lyrical about Dan Burn? They do need well, I don't know. I don't get it.
No, I don't get that either. But look, the more they're talking about us, the better. I think it's great. Let them continue to talk about us. Craig Lee's put, do you think the current squad realise if we take third, it'll be the first time we've ever finished above Man U in the Premier League? Wow.
Oh, that would be sweet. I did say at the start of the season, I want us to finish above Man United, but at that stage they had Ronaldo, and I thought the longer Ronaldo was there, the worse they get, because he's going to mess everything up. It turned out to be true, but then he left, so it's disappointing. And then they turned a corner, but it would be unreal to finish ahead of them. They could even drop out of the top 4 race themselves yet. You never know.
That's true. They're good. It's not dead cert. They're in the Europa League. They're in the semi-finals of the FA Cup as well. They've got other priorities.
Casemiro coming back though, he'll be the difference for them again.
Could be, but being out for so long, will it take him a couple of games to get back into the rhythm? Will he get another yellow or red card again?
Yeah.
You know, 2 yellows or a straight red. Who knows with him? Craig Lee's put on there as well. Starboy Malfoy. Just to confirm what that actually means. Is it referring to Anthony Gordon? I've no idea. But just let us know what you mean by that one. Let's have a look. Do you agree with this? And this was to Adam from Yano. Welcome, Yano, to the chat. He's put, I can see Chelsea going close to winning the league next season if they get the right manager. Do you think Chelsea will have that sort of same bounce back, in your opinion, next season?
Doesn't have the right manager now? Doesn't have Frank Lampard? You see, they're going to solve all the problems. And
only to the end of the season, though.
Yeah, I know. I know you were on a show right before this, Pete, with Terry, and I know because I did flick it on and I put a comment in, and then I went back to watching Dan Lawless and the West Ham meltdown. Yeah, they have a serious squad, and if I would agree, if they get the right manager, they're going to be, especially as well, if they're not in Europe, they can focus on the league. So yeah, there'll be a serious outfit next season, but yeah, it's getting the right manager, and they're going to be still continue to throw, and they're going to go buy a striker. You know well they are. If they get the right person to put all together, why not? I'd agree with that. Yeah, I know that they're going to be serious outfit.
Yeah, definitely. I've come to this one just because it's popped up, so I thought I'll ask you this now. Carl Sagan's put, do you think that we will see more of a rotation moving into the last stretch? Do some of the lads need a rest? Now, it's a great question. Obviously, we saw that against West Ham. Do you think, well, and it kind of goes into the thinking that we've answered the question about Brentford. Do you think we'll see that rotation again in one or two players? What do you think?
Yeah, I suppose if we're going to see rotation, it's going to be in that game at Brentford, because there's such a quick turnaround between games. I think after that, then I don't think I have dates. I don't have dates on that list, but there's more of a stretch between games. So I think if we see rotation, it's going to be that Brentford game. But yes, we see a bit of rotation, but not too much. Yeah, and we have a few players now to rotate as well. They're also decent, so maybe it's not a bad thing.
I think we might well see one or two changes within the team. Certainly from a Wilson and Isak perspective, I think they're going to try and keep them fresh, which is why he did what he did midweek. I don't think it'll be every game.
Miggy back as well. He'd be add the mix,
Definitely, and I think we're going to see, but we're going to see changes probably earlier on in games, depending on results. Like we saw, 3 subs come on for us. I think West Ham at the same time made 4. You're going to see those sort of changes to keep the team fresh. The difference is that all of our players know their roles, they know their duties on the pitch, so it doesn't matter who's on there; that they'll just do the job, and that's a big positive for us. But I think we will see that rotation to keep people fresh and keep things ticking over, keep things in a good, positive light. And I do expect to see that, particularly when we've got midweek games. So yeah, I think that's one.
Andrew, I'm just restarting the camera.
No, go for it. No, do. I know you're still there. 27 points left, getting them all, finishing second. Bet you a pint. Quite happy to bet you on that. I'm not really a betting man, but I'll bet on that definitely that we don't finish second. Although I'm more than happy to buy you a pint. In fact, I'll buy you 2 if we end up finishing second in the league. That's my agreement with you. Definitely. Right. Well, could probably 32 points. I think Life Goal said. Let's go with. Right, I'll come to this question just because lots of people have been talking about it. Rich Goblin, Joblin, sorry, is put. I keep making that mistake. I apologize, Rich. I know your name. I see your tweets and stuff all the time. Like, I know who you are. I just keep pronouncing it wrong. I apologize. Pete, what's your thoughts on Craig Hope's tweets about Maddison now off to Spurs? Surely not. For me, all of this talk about players, and you can throw in McTominay in that, and you can throw in a number of other players, I would just kind of take this all with a bit of a pinch of salt, because things can change very, very quickly. Would a move to Spurs make sense? Yes, but only if they get Champions League football. Does it make sense other than that? No, especially if Harry Kane leaves. It doesn't really make sense. But for me, as I've said to you, as much as I would love James Maddison at Newcastle United, he's not the only target. We've got many targets that we're looking at in a similar position. So if James Maddison decides to go down to South and go to Spurs, and that's where he thinks the next part of his career is, good luck to him. But will we get a player in that's just as good as Maddison that will come in and do the job? Most definitely. So I'm not overly fixated on one player. Daz will be back in just a second. I'm not overly fixed on one player to come in and do the job. Although, if there was that one player, I would like Maddison to be the guy. 2 reasons. One, because I've seen him firsthand and I know what he can do on the pitch. Even with Leicester being dreadful at the moment, he's still producing moments of magic at Leicester that have created opportunities and chances for the team. Secondly, is that it's very clear that Eddie Howe wants to build a kind of a British-based team with that sprinkle of international stardust into this current Newcastle team. And James Maddison would be the ideal candidate for that. Do I think it's a done deal that he goes to Spurs? No chance. However, we're not the only team that we're odds on to get him. You've got us, you've got Spurs. Man United will look at him because he's a Man United fan. He grew up supporting Man United. So there's always going to be that pull, okay, whether we like it or not. And there was those tentative links with Man City, although I don't see it come to fruition, if I'm honest with you. So you've got those 3 teams at least, okay? You've got us, Tottenham, Man United, and potentially even Arsenal, who were linked with him a year or so ago. So you've got 4. Throw those 4. Man City 5. You've got a lot of teams there to choose from. For him, if I was James Maddison, I'd be looking at, okay, what team has the best project at the moment? You could probably argue Arsenal because they're about to win the league. Outside of that, you've got Man City that wins trophies, but then you've got the argument is he going to play every week? He's looking at Grealish and Foden that are playing for England, great, that are winning trophies, but they're barely kicking the ball sometimes. They might go 3 or 4 games without kicking the ball. Foden's just gone through that. Do I want to be in that type of team? Or do I want to come to a team that's growing and building and developing that could potentially have Champions League football next season, but I'm going to that team knowing that I'm going to play every week and I'm going to be a focal point of that team? That's his discussion, not ours. And it's whether he wants to do that. As well as that, you've got pools of partners and all the rest of it. Some partners want to be pulled closer to London. They want to live the London life. It might not be their preference, but it might be their partner's preference and their family's preference. All these things play into it. But I genuinely believe that there is still a chance that we get James Maddison. I do. And I don't read into that too much. Someone put in the chat as well that Craig Hope had deleted that tweet that said he was going to Tottenham. Deleted it not long afterwards. I don't know if that's the case. Could well be someone just putting it in there just to create a little bit of something. I have no idea. But I didn't read too much into it, if I'm honest. What do you think about the Maddison to Spurs link?
I saw, I think Martin put it in our chat, and I didn't get too much time to look into it. I know Craig Hope was on Sky pretty much after the match or whatever last night. Maybe that's where, no, maybe he didn't mention it there. Maybe it must have been in a tweet, so he came out with it. But
yeah, he did mention it on that when he did
okay.
the back pages on Sky.
Oh, okay.
He mentioned it. and it's because it was the people that wrote the two people that wrote the articles, because it was a number of different new pieces of news. I think they are more linked to Tottenham in their writing, so it's come from a Tottenham source effectively. So yeah,
Okay, cool.
that's what's
I see I've changed to Chrome, Google Chrome, and my delay seems to be back now. Maybe it's okay. I was in Firefox there and it was working fine. But yeah. So yeah, look, if it's down to Madison, if we want him. And it's the deal makes sense at the right money, then come to Newcastle. Look, you have the opportunity to be a cult hero at Newcastle. Look, on the way we're heading and the competition is going to be in, you can write your name into history, or as you said, go to a big club, as a traditional big club, and sit in the bench, or whatever. So yeah, the choice is yours, I guess. If it comes down to it, either way, if we get him, great. If we don't, I'm sure we'll pick up someone just as good.
Definitely. There's a couple of comments in here on the back of the Madison conversation. Yano, being Yano, he's not a fan of Madison. There's more chance of Daz getting a Joe Linton tattoo than Madison signing.
I am a fan of Madison, but I wouldn't. I'm a fan to a point. You know, I get to a certain level, and then I think,
I meant Yano.
Oh, sorry, Yano. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Well, for me, I'm a fan up to a point, but and then I think, okay, could we get someone just as good for either cheaper, or get two players in for the same money that we do if we start going into crazy figures when talking about James Madison. But yeah, Yano isn't a fan of Madison.
Definitely not. And I actually think that we could get Madison. I think Madison will go for below 50 million. I think we could get him for whether it was 45, 40, especially if they get relegated, Leicester, which is still on the cards. There's a potential for that to happen. So, look, there's lots of different variables that can happen there with regards to Madison. And Daryl is part of the Jordan's Down South group. He was at the West Ham game yesterday with the likes of Emeka, with Uggs and one or two others. Hope we had a fantastic away day. The away days are the best, there's no doubt about it. He's put on there, I'm not buying the Madison going to Spurs. They don't even have a manager. We will sign 100%. The confidence is still there with Daryl. No doubt about it. And that brings me to the next point that I wanted to throw your way, because I know Daryl. I dropped this in the chat earlier on today, and he was very, very excited about this because he's a big fan of this player in particular, and has been right from when we nearly signed him in the January transfer window. And Alex Crooks of TalkSport, who has nailed on a few things in the past, is saying that Newcastle are heavily interested in signing Jared Bowen. So I want to get your thoughts on that, Baz.
Yeah. Well, I like him. And I did like him when he was a Hull as well. And I know back in the Bruce era, he was potentially looking at him. He's done really well for West Ham. Maybe not so much this season, but he's still lively. I think again, Eddie Howe. I don't know what age he is now, Bowen, but Eddie Howe could get a tune out of him as well. Yes, like last season was he like talked about in like player of the season kind of circles, let's say, not in realistically up there, but he was having that good a season. So yeah, someone Craig Lee says he's a Newcastle fan.
I was just about to click on that, and you're going to send Daryl into overdrive.
Is that
because
true?
I don't know if Daryl would do that if he genuinely is a Newcastle fan. I know Bukayo Saka's dad is a massive Newcastle fan.
He's 26. Born.
Good age, England international.
Great age.
Yeah. That's finishing. So Graham.
Yeah.
Gutted.
It was used to be really good one time.
It was good back in the day, but yeah, I remember the old videos with the walkways. Good age, whatever age it was, I love it. But no, interesting. I just like to say, Jared Bowen. I think at 26 years old, I genuinely believe that Eddie Howe could get him playing again. He had a great season last season.
He's English. He ticks the box for Eddie Howe.
You're right. It wouldn't be a bad option, and you know he was very interested in coming to Newcastle. It was just because we didn't want to sign him. But
Mike Ashley,
the rest of it. But what would you choose, Daz? And I'm putting you out this way.
Oh.
Jared Bowen, and this is to Darren as well. Jared Bowen, hold on, before that, goals and assists arriving 23-24. Bowen 7-4.
I like that.
I told you he's a huge fan of Jared Bowen. But I'll ask you, Daz and Daryl, this question, and everyone else in the chat. Would you go Jared Bowen for Newcastle, or, like Tom Dixon said, Moussa Diaby? Who would you go for if you had the choice? Both play the same position on the pitch.
It's the price. It's the price of both, really. Like if you're getting like what? Let me see. What did West Ham pay for him? They paid 18 million up front and 7 million add-ons. What would he go for now? 26. He's an England international, 4 caps. He's got 25 in 115 games for West Ham. He had 52 in 124 for Hull. Where is he born?
Moussa Diaby?
No. I'm talking about Bowen. He's from Herefordshire. So is he a Newcastle fan? I don't know. If you're like for like and price wise, then you go for Diaby. But it's going to be like if you're talking 30 million for Bowen and 60 million for Diaby, then you have your choice. And it depends on the budget. Like Eddie Howe said, depends what European competition we're playing in. We'll know our budget, and then how we use that budget allocated to the different areas of the pitch we improve. I think probably not the first area I'd improve, but let's see how it plays out, Pete.
Yeah,
West Ham are going to stay up though.
Yeah, but like I say,
I think
Bowen, it's an interesting one because could it be, and Eddie Howe talked about this in this pressure before the Man U game, is that there's a transfer strategy in place for the Champions League, and one for the Europa League, and one for the Europa Conference. So could it be that Diaby's got the Champions League experience, that he's the target?
He's at it again.
He is a big. But I told you. We hear it in the chat. We've heard it for the last year and God knows how long. Like whenever Bowen's mentioned, that was gone. Like that's it. Like there's even talk today. What's that?
Mute the chat then.
I come back to 1,000 messages, so sometimes I have to, and Darren knows that. But there was even talk today in the Journeys That South chat about Darren is expecting his twin babies at some point later on this year. That one of them was going to be named after Bowen. So that's how much the love stretches. I don't know, but look. Could it be that Diaby is the Champions League choice? Could it be that Bowen is the Europa League choice? Both got experience in both of those competitions separately.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Or do we throw in a third? Craig Lee's thrown in, neither, and go for Marcus Thuram on a free.
Yeah, there you go. Use the money then for Declan Rice. I like it. I like that idea.
Definitely. So look, these are all interesting discussions that we can talk about. And Daryl's getting the love in the chat, and rightly so. He's a top guy. So, but another one to throw you. This is kind of just hypothetical talks about certain players. Ekitike, would it be worth him going back in for him now? PSG, there's rumours that they're willing to let him go in the summer and move him on. They're not pleased with him at all. Hasn't done a great job. Would you consider him after all the debacle over the summer?
I know a lot of people would say no straight away to him because of kind of turning us down twice, I suppose. I'd take him though. And again, he's probably got better. I'm sure, being a PSG as well. He mightn't be playing as much, but he's learning off the players that are there. Um, and he was so young as well. You can understand how it's difficult to leave your home country at that young, when you have offers to stay as well. You know, it was probably the easier of the options to take for him. If with all the background checks and he checks out and it was something he showed desire to come to Newcastle, yeah, I take.
Yeah. Well, Lisa said no to Ekatike. Um, Jordan Tinfly said buy. Craig Lee said yes. PSG want to sell. Get him cheap. He's not getting games due to their starting three, which is a fair point. Jonathan said PSG's coach has commented he needed more intensity. Michael Palmer said 10 million or so for Ekatike. Yes, and he will sort it out as long as he ditches his agent. So interesting discussions there. Lionel Messi on a free agent. No, because his wages will cripple us.
Yeah. See those figures mentioned, crazy.
I have to throw in Carl Segi because he says it every time when we talk about transfers. Armada at Atlanta United. Now, I have to say, I've been watching a little bit of Atlanta United, not heavily, but here and there. And Armada the other week scored an unbelievable free kick right into the top stanchion, 30 odd yards out. And I was like, wow, like this guy is a super talent. He just looked the part. So don't forget about Armada and Karsegi.
Yeah,
reminders when in the chat.
I know Foxy was on the chat there earlier as well. He'll be talking about the South Americans, but yeah, I've never seen him play, but I used to buy him on Football Manager. He's a name that stood out. But yeah, I must check him out at some stage, especially if we get linked to him.
Definitely, he'll come back to Europe at some point. There's no doubt about it. Weird question. Who else here misses Gabriel Smalling? That's one
random, definitely random. That one. Maybe Chris Hall probably misses him. He also has a soft spot for the old players.
I used to miss his alien head. He was a big, huge alien head. The one thing I'll never forget is he scored the winning goal in the Pardew against Leicester at St James's Park, and I was there in the Gallagher end, and I was very happy to see that. So that would be always one thing that keeps a positive mindset for me. But there were many other negatives. Poor performances galore. Talk about left back.
Gouffron was another one around that time as well. Yeah. Sorry,
Mr.
carry on.
Utility. No, not at all. Mr. Utility, he was. Let's go back. Actually, we've confirmed that Malfoy is what Jacob Murphy called Anthony Gordon from the Malfoy, obviously from Harry Potter, which actually is pretty spot on. Life Goals has said, is Garen Kowal being totally wasted in the Scottish Premier League? Didn't come off the bench at the weekend. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I thought he would start more. I thought we'd see more of him, and no, I haven't been looking at it that closely either. But yeah, I know he's kind of a bench warmer for them. Look, I'm sure there's something in it as well that's kind of acclimatizing to Britain, let's say. But yeah, these loans still haven't worked out. We have to get to a stage, and this is where the feeder club / multi-club model comes into play again, and having arrangements in place that if we're sending someone to a club that they're going to get game time, a decent game time, because it is a waste. We've seen it time and time again, and the only one that really got real benefit out that I can remember off the top of my head is Elliot Anderson, Bristol Rovers. But yeah, I'd agree with that. Life Goals.
Yeah, it's not great. I've got to say, it's looking like another poor decision. You've got to be giving the guy minutes. if you're going to put him on loan. There's no point sending him to a new country in a new continent and not even giving him an opportunity to kick a football, which is why he's moved there in the first place. So something needs to be done about that, but let's see. Right, some quick fire ones to go through. So yeah, just your opinion really quickly on Target. Stephen put Target looked composed when he come on, fitted in seamlessly. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. For the little cameo he came on for, yeah, he did well, and good to see him back. Like, because it was surprising that okay, it was injury related, that he wasn't getting a look in at all, but it was down to injury. So yeah, and who knows? Like, someone could pick up an injury somewhere along the line in these last 10 games. That is a bit of my worry. A key player, and yeah, we have, let's say Byrne did pick up an injury. We need someone in there to slot in, and Target slots in there perfectly. Like, other than that, you're looking at the likes of Lewis. Would we give Dummett his first game of the season in one of those 10 games? I don't think so. So yeah, we need someone with that can slot in and give us he's known for a 7 out of 10 performance. So yeah, welcome back, Target.
Definitely. Great to have him on in a few more minutes as well. And Manny as well. Come on for, like I said, for Trippier. Great to see him on as well. Just a few, not questions, just statements. DK35 said, you were great on the Football Terrace today, Pete. Thank you very much for your support. I know Daz was in the chat as well. Some have said in the chat the first time they've had proper representation of Newcastle on there. So great. So hopefully more of that on the big, or the top 6, I think it's called, with Terry. And look, always repping Loaded as well. So I'll always be there as and when. But of course, on the 12th man too. And
you know what, Pete? He owes you now. He owes you. He has to come.
I told him. Yeah. I told him. He owed me already for not turning up away days. Now he owes me twice. So. He's going to repay that debt, that's for sure. David Cook said, will Lawless throw a sickie on the 12th man this week? He better not, because I'm ready for him.
I know. I kind of feel sorry for him now, because if you watch that clip I referred to, it is about 5 minutes. It's definitely worth the watch because it's only 5 minutes. But he talks about the goal they got, the West Ham got, and at the end he says about we have to win that Conference League. I'm not even confident that we'll win that now. He's lost all hope
in the background. Doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He goes, that's our song.
You felt sorry for him. I loved every second. I was laughing. But no, fair.
He's quality. You know, he's a great guy.
He really is a great guy. Please don't take anyone when you watch him and listen to him. Don't take anything.
And there's another clip on West Ham Fans TV, and it's a guy that's interviewing, and he's, you know what I'm talking about here, don't you? It's a guy in a wheelchair, and he has his own vlog as well. But he says that the West Ham were so poor, it gives him hope that he could still play football. You know, it was like for West Ham, he was thinking there. So yeah, it was a nice little interview as well. So yeah. Give it a check. Check it out. You can give them a hope as well.
Definitely check it out. There's some fantastic content on there. West Ham Fans TV, they are great. Did you notice ASM's assist came from the right hand side against West Ham?
Oh yes, it did.
Did talk about that. We talked about his effectiveness on the right hand side. So it's another one to add to the list. Thank you to bringing that up, Jordan Team for live. One for the chat, actually, unless you know, Daz. I don't myself. If we finish third or fourth, do we go into the Champions League qualifying rounds? I know fourth used to be the case, but
third. I don't. Or is it third a later qualifying round? I imagine there's some qualifying round for fourth, right? But Not so sure. We've been so out of it for so long. I'm out of touch. From Football Manager, I think you do go into an early qualifying round. I remember the time we were in an early qualifying round with Sir Bobby, and we got knocked out. Oh, that was the start of our downfall as well.
On penalties at St James's
Yeah,
Park as well.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I think that was, if I'm right, I think that might have been Partizan Belgrade.
Yeah, it was something like that.
And I think
Yeah.
Shearer might have missed the penalty. I think a few missed, but yeah.
It
Oh
was
yeah, the less we think about that, the better. Oh god, bad times. Bobby's throwing in one for the chat, unless you know yourself, Daz. When was the last time you played on a Saturday at 3 p.m? Seems like ages ago.
Ooh, I can check it out. Hang on. If it's still.
Well, the one thing I will say about that, I don't know the answer to it, but it's because we are absolutely class. And so they want us on TV as well. Brentford is a 3 o'clock kickoff, so we're not on TV. But then I think the next 3 games after that, all on TV again.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah. I don't know, because where I normally look, they've taken away the times after the game is played. They take away the time, so I don't know. And Charlotte from True Faith as well would like to correct you there, Pete. We're not class. We're fucking class.
Yes.
Yeah. Next one.
Okay. This is a great question. Daz, who is your player of the season so far? I don't know if you want to answer that question or wait until the end, but who would you say? Or maybe, okay, let's say, who are your 3 front runners rather than saying
3 front runners.
Who are your 3 front runners for player of the season so far? Everyone else in the chat, get your front runners in as well. Let's not go for 1. Let's go for 3. Who's your 3 front runners for player of the season?
Right. Okay. I'm going to put Bruno in there. I'm going to put Shar in there. Oh God, no, it's going to be tough. I'm only allowed to pick 3.
We've got to narrow it down, otherwise you pick the whole team.
Because like Trips as well has to be in contention, and now I could still keep going though. Like Pope as well has been brilliant, like as part of that back 5.
You've not even mentioned the top scorer.
I know. I haven't even gone there. Like Miggy, and there as well. And Isak, well, he's like only come in, like he was injured for so long, so he can't really be put in there. I'm waiting to the end of the season, Pete. Too hard now. No way.
You know what? I think you're probably right. I think that's definitely a good talk of the season. But there is lots of people in there that have mentioned it as well. So Lisa's gone for Trips.
Yeah,
I'll go for Damburn.
How do you put Shar in that top 3 and not put Botman as well? It's there's so many. Matt Ritchie definitely won't be getting in there.
Definitely.
Or Thomas.
Batman.
And just for Mary, I see Mary's in the chat there. It won't be Chris Wood. I can tell you that much. It won't be Chris Wood. Mary's a big Chris Wood fan.
Definitely. Jonathan here, I just realised that he put Bruno's dad.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah,
gets in there. He'd love that. Imagine him accepting an award. He'd be loving it.
Another one. Jamal Lascelles. Those yellow cards he picked down onto the sideline. Contention.
Crucial. Absolutely crucial. Darrow's gone player of the season. Bruno, without question, he's just class. If Isak was fit all season, then he'd have got a shout. Yeah, fair play. That as well. Jordan Tufasa, did you notice that Joelinton's first goal was the same run as Anderson's? Yes, that inside run. But Anderson against Forest slipped when he was in on goal. Otherwise, it'd have probably been in 1-on-1.
Something they're working on in training. Yeah.
Clearly, great spot that. That's for sure. Where was the Macarena?
Oh.
Hey, I'm done. That's what I know. So,
that's great, Pete, because I can clip that bit now and add the music in the background. Yay! Look, do it again. I'll do the song. Hey, Margarela. I don't know the words. They sound similar, so that'll do.
Very similar. So you got the Macarena. I forgot about the potentials to clip. So I apologise in advance. But you got a little snippet of something. I'm going to fire through these really, really quickly. Who still wants Paqueta if West Ham go down and we miss out on Madison?
I take him.
I think he's a talented boy. I think in a bad West Ham team, I think he's played really well. And I actually thought I agree with you, Daz. You said he played well yesterday. I agree. I think he did.
And he scored against us in the last game we played against him.
He did, yeah, spot on. Interesting one from Life Goals. Cucurella could resurrect his career at Newcastle, looking for a first choice left back. Would you agree with that choice? Would you want him to come in to Newcastle?
Yeah, well, what age is he? I'm sure he's pretty young as well.
Isn't he? 24, 25?
Yeah, I think under Eddie Howe, why not? They paid a crazy price for him back, and that was before Potter came there, and then Potter followed him there. And Potter's gone. I take him. I'm sure there are other options though at a cheaper price. So I wouldn't use up all my budget on a left back and go put it on Cucurella though. They'd have to be willing to offload him at a decent price before I'd go there.
No, I would agree with that. However, if you're asking me who I would go for his left back partnership friend in Ben Chilwell. One to look out for. I would definitely prefer Ben Chilwell. Love the guy. I think he's a brilliant player. Proper left back, perfect for our team. So if you're asking me to choose, personally, I go with Chilwell. But great point there, Life Goal. Great question. There's a question there, but I'll come back to that for the last one. Daryl's put, guys, don't sleep on the other man, on his other man crush, and it is a man crush. Him and Emeka love this guy to bits. James Ward-Prowse. Would you take him at Newcastle? If when Southampton go down.
Yeah. Look, I know he's a good player and he's absolutely lethal at free kicks. Have Trippier for that. I think we were talking about him at the summer last year, and there was something crazy figures being mentioned, and I said no way at those prices. So look, even if they go down, they'll command a crazy fee for him. So no, I wouldn't take him.
I'm not convinced he's the guy to come into our midfield personally. So I apologise, Daryl and Emeka. I think he's a set piece specialist, but other than that, I just don't see personally what he offers in game that could benefit our midfield. The intensity, the press, all that sort of stuff. I don't see it. So for me, I think, I'd probably not go for him. However, would you take Alexis McAllister?
Oh, yeah. Of course I would.
Apparently touted at around, apparently he's going to leave this summer, apparently touted around 35 to 40 million.
Yeah, I'd take him for that. Well, he must be young as well.
I haven't got it. I haven't got it to hand, but I don't think he's very old at all. I think he's in his early 20s, if I'm right thinking.
Yeah, I'll just Google him there. 1 sec. He is 24. 24.
Great age.
Great age. Hey, we'll have to do a show like that. Just mention players and just go great age the whole time. What did they buy him for? I'll look it up again. But I'd definitely take him.
Definitely. Spot on. Absolutely spot on. Great signing, he would. Okay. Yes, I have my keys. I was at home, so they didn't get lost. Everything was all good. Yes, there was a lot of goals, but I was on my sofa, nice and comfortable. Nothing lost there, so do not worry about that. I have one last question, which is, what is your prediction for Saturday against Brentford?
Well, I was right against West Ham, wasn't I? I said 2-0 Newcastle. So let me see, Brentford. I'm going to go 2-0 Newcastle again. And 2-0? Hope for a 5-1. Yeah, I'll go 2-0 and hope for a 5-1. Yeah.
I'm going to go I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1.
I think it's going to be a tighter game.
Tony to score theirs.
Oh, no. I think we handled Tony quite well. But Mwembo, who plays as his kind of second striker, always seems to get opportunities against us. Like he seems like a bit of a dangerous second striker. So yeah, I think it'll be a 2-1. But I think we'll get the points.
I love the way you're stroking the beard there, Pete, when you're talking on. So you must think he's a good player. So
yeah, Mwembo he's a good player. Rico Henry on their left back is also a very good player. One maybe under consideration for Newcastle. Still at a good age, I think 26 years old.
Great age.
I love it. But yeah, oh my God, we're going to say that for everyone.
Chris is going to be raging. He's missing this bit. He'd love that.
But no, he's Rico Henry's another guy. Matthias Jensen. Watch this guy. He's my surprise package of who I would like to sign for Newcastle United in the summer. Centre midfield, Matthias Jensen.
I remember him when we played him last time, but I don't remember much about him.
Yeah, honestly, really, really good player. They're the kind of players that stand out for me that I'm looking at.
You know what I'm looking forward to, Pete? I'm looking forward to Keith's prediction. We might win, we might draw, we might lose.
Why not promote it now?
Let's go for it. Yeah, it's there.
We have Besotted Bees. So Lewis, if you saw Lewis on the Battleground Europe, he came and joined us and was a fantastic guest as part of that show. He's coming back to do the preview with us tomorrow night at 7:30 to talk all things Newcastle and Brentford. So come and join us for that show. And of course, Keith, he messaged me earlier on today. He will be in attendance for Splinter. Is it Dr. Doom?
Dr. Doom, yeah.
And many other names that he goes by. Double O Stato will be in the house to give his predictions on the game. So yeah,
Quiz King.
Quiz King is one of them. You're absolutely right. And I'm pretty sure there's more than 118 likes now. But if you haven't already, click that like button and click the subscribe button. We are moving towards 6K, so come and help us out. That is for sure. And as
400 the target for likes, remember?
400. And Richard Caldwell, welcome Richard, is put loading mag NUFC Hawaii people subscribe to the channel. He's a huge supporter of the channel and wants us to get as many subscribers as possible. That's for sure. And I just wanted to end on this one. Daniel Much, welcome Daniel, great into the chat. He's put this out here, and this is the new Joe Willock-Enio song. And it's so he came from Arsenal because he wanted a chance to join the Magpies and make the Geordies dance. He fucking magic. Don't you effing know? Our midfield maestro, Joe Willock-Enio.
Okay, I have to hear the music.
That's the new tune. It was sang. If you follow Adam P, I think he put a video out last night in the build-up to the game with a couple of his mates singing the song in the away end. So check that one out. But yeah, that's the new song. And you know what? I think it's quite fitting for Joe Willock to have a song. I think he needed his own song because of how great he's been since he joined the club. So yeah, I just wanted to end on that one.
And Pete, what age is Joe Willock?
Joe Willock is 23 years old.
Oh, great age. I love it.
And we could be here all day with that.
What age is Matt Ritchie?
33.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Moving on to Michael Palmer. He said, okay, 200 likes and people will sing at your wedding. If you only get 150, he'll sing twice. No, that's not happening.
Oh, good.
And what was it? What enjoyed the 2 for Life? Dad singing the same words to the Macarena.
Exactly. The same words. The same words as in the Wilakino song. Yeah, perfect.
There you go. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, look, that's all the questions. All the questions in for tonight. I'm sorry if we didn't get a chance to answer them, but yeah, I think we've covered everything, Daz.
We covered everything, and you've probably been on live for the last 4 hours or something, Pete. Well, maybe we'll just go over the sponsors anyway and round up the show. So shout out to the radiatorshed.com. And as we put ourselves in jail, and you know the big reason behind the renaissance of Colin Wilson, some of us wrote him off, but no, not Russ. Russ stood by him and sorted out his radiators and his bathroom needs. That sounds weird. With bathroom needs to HUO Bathroom Design Co. I mean, and he's sorted. So and if you need radiators, and your house is kind of chilly, it's going to the summer, so that'll hopefully change soon. But get ready for next winter, with the radiators from the Radiator Shed, and if you need to get them installed. And for get them installed in the loaded van, go contact the Install Works as well. All connected through the Radiator Shed and through H2O Bathroom Design Co., which is coming next here in my list. Here they are. H2O Bathroom Design Co., the Northeast's largest supplier of Velcro and bathroomware. Team Valley Gateshead, over 20 years established, ran by the family. Get down to the showroom on the 11th Avenue, Team Valley Estate, Gateshead. And yeah, if you haven't seen them already, where have you been? These are the bathrooms. Great bathrooms, Pete. I love it. Yeah, I have to do this for everything now.
Love it, guys.
Oh, mirrors, great mirrors. Yes. If you fancy a dip in those baths, you know where to go. Contact H2O Bathroom Design Co. and it gets you started. That's it. We're going to make a mess of everything tonight with that great age thing. But that is it. Thanks anyone that stuck with us for over the 2 hours, celebrating our 5-1 victory. Hopefully, we're celebrating another one on Saturday. Because we will be along with the review show. But tomorrow, remember, it's away days. You don't have too long to wait before our next show. So that is it, Pete. We say goodbye. Do you want to finish on the Howe or the Isak? I'll give you the choice.
Oh, God, I don't know. Whoever comes in the chat first with one. How or Isak? Which one? We'll end with it.
Tell me, Pete. Tell me what the answer is.
Tom had already put it in the chat, but he went with How. Anybody?
Everyone's left. Everyone's gone to bed.
How we like that?
How we like that? Good night, everybody.
Newcastle have just beat us 5-1 at home. What a shambles. I don't even know where to start. Complete self-destruction. Honestly, mistake after mistake after mistake. I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless.